Well, closer to home, college students across the country are dealing with yet another delay in this year's FAFSA process. Historically, FAFSA applications open on October 1st. This year, a federal overhaul of the FAFSA system delayed application openings until January. And last week, the feds announced another delay. Now, while you at home can fill out your FAFSA application right now, colleges across the country will not receive those forms until March at the earliest. And all of this means colleges will have less time to get financial aid estimates back to potential students. And in turn, students and families will have less time to decide which college and price tag works for them. Here to chat about this is Jane Shrek. She has been working with financial aid for Monmouth College for nearly 30 years. Jane, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to start with clearing up some confusion here, because families can still fill out FAFSA applications today, but they aren't getting to Monmouth College, are they?
That's absolutely correct. There are over 3 million applications currently on the federal website that have been submitted, but the federal government hasn't processed those applications, so they have not forwarded those to state agencies that oversee state funding, nor have they forwarded it to any of the colleges or universities.
So for a school like Monmouth, how many applications would you normally process in a week prior to this current school year?
Well, at this time last year, I had about 800 financial aid offers out to prospective students so that those families were already informed and able to make some decisions. And I was processing about 100 to 150 a week on a rolling basis throughout the spring. So there's quite a backlog there waiting
Yeah.
to happen.
Let's talk about that backlog. Once this delay finally lifts, March at the earliest, how many applications are you expecting to wade through?
Well, let's put that into perspective. Monmouth is a small private school, right? So for us, we're expecting a couple of thousand are going to dump in our laps all at once. But if a student is looking at a state university where there's tens of thousands of students, those schools are going to have a lot more to try and handle at the same time.
All at once and on a reduced deadline to get all of that information back to families. Break this down for us. When you get those applications in, what do you do with them? What do you send back out?
Well, for some of those, it's very quick and easy. We can build a financial aid offer FAFSA for the family and informs the family of all the sources of financial assistance that they might qualify for and the amount of each of those. Um, Without that information, we simply our hands are tied. We're blind to what they might qualify for. We don't have any information on them until we have that FAFSA.
Hmm. So what advice do you have for families that are trying to navigate through this? You mentioned a price calculator when we talked earlier.
That's correct. For new families, prospective families who are high school seniors or transfer students trying to find their next home, right? There is a thing called a net price calculator that is required on the website of each and every college and university in the country. And if a family were to use that, the purpose of it is to estimate what the costs and the aid to that student may have been had they entered the prior year. So it's not perfect by any means. It's last year's costs, it's last year's aid, and in most cases using last year's formulas. But it is an estimator that might put a few families' minds at ease and let them sleep a few nights while we wait for the federal government.
Hmm. And Monmouth College, like many across the country, have decided to push back your official decision day. Talk about what that is.
Sure. So the national decision date is typically May 1st. And so students are encouraged by May 1st to pay their deposit. And if they had paid their deposit prior to May 1st and then changed their mind, it would be refundable to them through May 1st. We want to be advocates for students, not only to ensure that we get them the correct amount of funding that they're entitled to, but that we give them sufficient time to make a fully informed decision about their future. We wouldn't buy homes or cars sight unseen and not knowing what it would cost. We certainly don't want families to feel like they're forced to make a quick decision without being fully informed. So this seems, as their advocate, to be the right thing to do. Just push it back to June 1st and sort of recoup 4 weeks for them of time that the Fed is using up now, and we're going to give it back to them on the back end.
Certainly a mess to work through, but we know that you have families and students' interests at the forefront of your minds. Jane, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.